All right, so this is the next December. We've got Genevieve here, who's on the hot seat, and yeah, whoever else is going to join us as they do. Maria's here, and we'll see if anyone else joins us. Otherwise, this is here for the recording. Yeah, so as I shared last time with Maria's hot seat, my intention in starting to host them on Zoom instead of being a broadcast in Facebook Live is so that they can be so that we're really kind of channeling in the energy and the inspiration for everyone who's here in the community. So of course it serves the one on the hot seat, as we know, and also what I just log in. I don't even understand that. Is that Michaela? Okay, maybe Michaela. I don't know either that or I have no idea. Okay, aside, I get distracted, right? Squirrel. It happens a lot. Yeah, so yeah, that's just told me I logged in from another device. Okay, so yeah, that's the intention, is that it serves everyone, because as you know, like everyone, we're all drawing from a bucket of numbers and a bucket of science. So and the whole journey with natural design, it really is a journey. It's not meant to like label you or put you in a box. If anything, it's really to help you discover more about yourself so that you can really own aspects of yourself, and perhaps aspects of yourself that you haven't fully claimed. So that's really what we're doing here, is continuing that journey. So when you go to the videos, oh yeah, there we go. Hello, Michaela.
Hey.
Hi, Michaela.
Hey, Genevieve.
Yeah, I was like thrown off because it said it was me that logging in. I was so confused. Anyway, okay, so yeah, swirl again. Hello, Agnes. Glad to see you here. Okay, yeah, so as I share in the videos, I know what I'll do. I'll just mute it for a second, 100%, everyone, and then I can focus, and then I'll unmute after. Yeah, I had a really disturbed sleep last night, so my brain is not at its peak. So, okay. Yes, so in the videos, I shared about the energy of each number, the energy of each sign, and that's one thing. And then in the handout for the gifts and for the brand essence signs, you got more insight. And then we're on a journey with it. Like, we're really on a journey with it. And I feel emotional when I think about it, but I've been saying it this way more and more, that each number, say the gifts, each gift is like a world. It's like a world where there's so much in that world. And within the world of each of the gifts we have, there are things that we are really practiced at and we really do well at. And then there's things that are weaker, that if we were to explore that and bring that in, it brings more to our business. It brings more to our happiness and our fulfillment, and has us serving at a deeper level. So, and just happier in general, and having more fuel and energy and inspiration as we go through our days, and work with clients and market and sell and all those other different things. So yeah, super, super excited to be doing it in this format. I just felt called to switch it, and this feels really exciting. So glad those of you can make it live. We didn't give a lot of warning. So I'm glad you can make it, Agnes and Maria and Michaela. Okay, so with that, I posted Genevieve's natural design in the chat. I'm going to unmute you, Genevieve. Oh, I think you might need to do that because it's not working for me to do that. There we go. All right. You're using your new software perfectly. Okay, cool. So I posted her natural design in the chat, so you can check that out. Before we begin, so Genevieve, I haven't shared all of your haven't shared about your natural design specifically before. So I'm going to be doing sort of a broad, big picture about it. However, I'd love, as I mentioned, we've run into each other. Genevieve lives 2 minutes from my house in Kenmore, and we ran into each other at the gym the other day, which has never happened, so that was cool. Anyway, I was going to say, as I mentioned at the gym, people are like, what? As I mentioned at the gym, if you have, I'd love to hear like 1 or 2 challenges that you have that I can keep in mind as I'm sharing your natural design. So for those, like Agnes, I've shared about your gifts before. If you were on the hot seat, then we would just dive into a challenge that you have within the context of your natural design. So it's either kind of an overview or specifically for a challenge. And again, we can keep going deeper and deeper with this. And that's my intention, is you might hear something that I share with Genevieve that you haven't heard in the videos, you haven't seen in the handouts. And if something resonates with you as you're listening, for those who are observing, write it down, make a note of it, because you likely have some of her natural design, or you have none of it. And if you have none of it, then it's even more incentive to own your own, because you can see how you're different. So with that, is there any challenges you'd like to share that I could keep in mind as I'm sharing this?
Well, I do not believe in coincidence anymore, and haven't for a long time. So this morning, a very close friend of mine who's very intuitive came over, and she brought her Celtic Tarot deck.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go through the whole spread that I chose, but the one that really spoke to me and represents, I believe, my challenge.
Cool.
And I'm not sure it's going to show up very well.
It might. Oh yeah. Oh, put it more to the camera. Yeah. Up a little. Yeah. Oh, wow. Cool.
So it's a bit difficult to see, but on the rock, so he's sitting there with his arms folded, his legs folded, looking almost a little bored.
Yeah.
On the rock behind him are all these amazing symbols, like from Celtic, mysticism. And
yeah,
I can't remember what that the 3-pointed one is that shows up on all the rocks in the ancient formations that predate the pyramids in Ireland. And then so around him are these full cauldrons. So, everything's there, right? It's all there.
Yeah.
But he's looking a little kind of, what now sort of thing.
Right.
So I would say that is a real visual
right.
representation. Bored is not a word I use, because I don't really relate to that word anymore.
Yes.
Maybe when I was 8, but not now. So, but I sense a little bit of inertia around, and I have made all these contacts, not all these, several contacts with other new practitioners who are new to me in the Valley to do trades, so that we can get to know each other's work, because I want to build this integrative team.
Yes.
But it's happening, and it's not quite feeling aligned yet. And I'm not calling like the psychiatrist or the sort of people in the mainstream that I really want to work with as well.
Cool.
So I would say the word inertia comes up.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's a great word. It is. And the feeling, when you use the word inertia, and as you're describing all of this, the feeling the word that pops into my head is possibilities. It's like, because you're here and you're on this track, and you're seeing that, and you're wanting to expand out or expand. And to me, there's energy of possibilities around, but you've got this energy of inertia at the moment. So
it feels that way.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so I will keep that in the back of my head. I love that you have a visual for it.
Yeah, so neat. It was just like literally half an hour ago.
So cool. And hello, Quinn. I see that you joined us. I've got everyone on mute in the background. I'm gonna share with Genevieve, and then we're gonna check in. So as you're listening, listen for yourself, any insights, and also hold the space for Genevieve. And I'm gonna check in later on to hear about any kind of gems you got for yourself. So we'll make it interactive at the end. Yay! I'm so glad we're doing this on this format. Okay. Okay. So let's look at I just want to first review. So Genevieve's natural design is in the chat, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I didn't write your midheaven down. That's Scorpio, right?
Yes. Well, I see it in the group chat.
Oh yeah, I typed it.
Sorry, I don't see I don't see Genevieve's numbers. Is it maybe because I logged in a little late? Is that what?
Here, Quinn, I'll copy and paste it. Let me know if you see that. Do you see that? In the chat? Oh. Quinn. Please tell me if you could see that. I'll read it out as well. So we're going to go through the numbers. So wait, yeah, before I look at the numbers, I just wanted to quickly review. Okay. So yeah, so I'll just read it out loud because then it'll help sink in as well. So for the gifts, we've got 9, 4, 7, 5, 5, 3, 2. And then for the brand essence, we've got Sun in Virgo, Rising Capricorn, Moon in Aries. That makes sense. You've got the earth, but then also the fire and the air. Mercury is the mind, which is Libra. Mars in Capricorn. Oh, this makes so much sense. Like, I know Genevieve, like, she does amazing work with trauma, and like, I go to her, like, I'm her client with that. It's amazing. And I'm just like, oh yeah, this is cool for, like, it's just so suits you and the work you're doing. It's just amazing. So we'll get into that in a moment. Where did I leave off? Mars in Capricorn, midheaven of Scorpio. Cool. Okay, so I'm just gonna jump in. I think let's go to your brand essence first. Usually I start with the gifts, but your brand essence, just, I really feel it from you. So let's dive into that. So what do we have here? We have Virgo, Virgo and double Capricorn. So we've got like a lot of earth. Virgo being one that's all about subtleties, like healing. It's about healing and it's about details, but in the healing world, it moves to become more about subtleties. So we're like, I've got lots of Virgo too, so I'm highly aware of all the million little subtleties. And Genevieve does work with trauma, like, you're highly aware of like a subtle movement in the eyebrow, you know, like all of the little subtle things that indicate something to you. So that makes a ton of sense. You've got that Virgo. Also, the fact that you have all these earth signs, like 3 out of 6 are earth.
Right.
That's half earth. Earth is the body. It's in the physical world. It's here on this planet, versus being in the mind, like say the air signs, or being all about action, like the fire signs.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes a lot of sense. Just with that, the big picture that you're about the here and now, the physical body, the nervous system, which is a physical thing.
Yeah.
It has energy, I'm sure, but it is.
Yeah, it's kind of the bridge between consciousness and matter in a more esoteric framework.
Yes, totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Makes so much sense. So, and it is physical. It's not just some energy line. You know, it's a
physiology. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is really, it's grounded, it's practical, it's earth. And for those of us who have earth, we have that practical aspect of who we are. And then we add in that your mind, your Mercury, your mind is like a Libra. So that your mental nature is a mental sign, which is interesting. That's not always how it goes. That's for sure. Which,
okay,
that makes sense. I mean, you have Libra is about many things, but a lot of it is balance and having things in balance, which I think that's a lot of what your work is as well. And also seeing both sides. My sister and I laughed this one day because we realized she was Libra rising, and even though she's a Taurus and she's stubborn and all this stuff, like 100%, she'll see both sides of everything. You know, like she can't, like, you know, if there's a disagreement in the family or whatever, she's like, she'll see both sides of everything. She won't just see this is right and this is wrong like you'd expect a stubborn Taurus. They can see both sides of everything. So the ability to really see around different things. And also this is something you probably won't see in books, but this is something I observed a lot over the years, is for Libra, particularly, I see it in women, but it can show up in men. There's this aspect of control. He's laughing. Okay. Because Libra is the scales, so it's like you want to just balance the stinking scales, right? Just stay right there. Come on, like, stay in the middle. But they don't, because they're scales. They're moving. They're not a slight increase over here, and this goes down, and then now this. So you're constantly in a state of balancing. But what I've observed is at times that can show up as, it's like, I want to have control. And there can be a lot of skill around gaining control over your environment, over your body, over whatever, because of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. And the moon is in Aries. So this is, I don't think I've seen a lot of fire moon signs in this community. for some reason. So moon in Aries. So your moon is your emotional nature. So for everyone here, your emotional nature, this is what you want. This is like the fire that you tap into in your whole business. So we're going to talk in January. We're doing that bonus call on your natural sales superpowers. This would be something you'd want to tap into. So because it's your emotional nature, and people typically don't buy because of practicality. They feel like, yes, this is what I want, or this is for me. So when we tap into our own natural moon energy, that's beneficial for our business. And even with you, Genevieve, connecting with different people, our passion comes from Mars, but it's also partly moon because it's our emotions.
Okay.
And you have fire in your emotions.
Yeah.
So to tap into that, and Aries is like the starter, it's the explorer, it's the pioneer. It wants to go out and do the new things and pave a trail. And here you are working with trauma in a really powerful way that is very effective and powerful, but a lot of people aren't aware of it.
No.
Of how to do it and all the different subtleties about it. So you really are being this bold trailblazer.
Mm-hmm.
And so as you're going out connecting with people, you can tap into that energy. Mm-hmm. And you want to, because you're this bold trailblazer that's like, there's another way. There's this really effective way to handle trauma and for people to actually resolve the trauma in their body. It's like hugely powerful. And for psychiatrists and all these different people, it's giving them another supportive tool for their
right.
So when you think about this, and this is the power of natural design, when you're tapping into who you are, then the people who are aligned are going to be like, yeah. And the people who aren't are going to be like, no, thank you. Clients as well as partners, people who can promote you. So you really want to tap into that. And the people who don't resonate, that's okay. And you don't have to go full blast, like, this is the new way, and if you don't do it, you're stupid. That's not what you're about. But you can have the conversation that's talking about, there's this way to treat trauma in the body that is so effective, and it works really complementary with other things.
Oh, yeah.
Which you're all about. And that's a lot of the Virgo energy is like wholeness. Like this wholeness. Like it's not just healing. Why are we healing? We're healing to become whole again.
Absolutely.
So, and that it's not just this that's going to do that. There's other.
Absolutely.
And you're so about that, which is really cool. So that aspect. So you're really, when we combine the Virgo and the Aries, just sometimes it's nice to look at parts of your brand essence. You can look at the whole thing, but then we kind of look at combinations. Like I looked at all the earth. I'm like, wow, lots of earth. That makes sense. You gain an insight there. If we look at your Aries and your Virgo, what do we have? We have healing, like a trailblazing healer type person.
Interesting.
So you can come from that energy and really start to give yourself permission to step into this, because it's a natural part of who you are. I've witnessed this, like your brand essence makes 100% sense to me. I'm not surprised by it. So it's just giving yourself permission to really tap into that energy as you go about connecting with people who are then going to become partners and promoting each other and all that. Because then they really feel you, and you have, for sure with you're about depth. You're not just like, hey, woo, we did this one thing, that was fun. Sure, you can do that, but in the long run with your business, you have these deep, powerful energies to tap into that can really be long-term. So you want these like long-term partnerships.
Yes.
That's going to be a huge power for you and fuel in your business, and to create success is those deeper connections and the people who value the same things. The people, like we add the Scorpio in here, and Scorpio is all about depth. It's huge. It's one of the most transformational numbers because it's like rebirth and going into the darkest of the dark, which trauma is, well, it doesn't have to be. Sometimes it's, car accident. It's a minor one, but still, it can represent the darkest of the dark. So you, I don't know. My mind went sideways. Okay. So
Scorpio.
What's that?
Scorpio, midheaven.
Yeah. Scorpio, yeah, there's something else I was going to add.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the deep healing. So now we look as well. We've got Aries and Virgo. We see this trailblazing healer. Hey, there's this new way to do things. It's really effective. It's so powerful. Your clients are going to love it, and they're going to see results, and it's going to help you feel more successful in your practice.
Mm-hmm.
And then you add the Scorpio in. So now we have this like deeply transformational healing.
Yeah.
So you're adding another layer of the essence of who you are and what you're bringing.
Mm-hmm.
And now let's add to that the Capricorn, which I just love seeing. It just makes so much sense. I've got double Capricorn. And Capricorn is Capricorn, and Genevieve, as I mentioned earlier, she lives 2 minutes from my house, so she's in the mountains too. We're surrounded by mountains, and Capricorn is represented by the mountain goat.
Ah, right.
So goats, like, they will climb. They'll figure out the way to get to the top. Like, that's just the energy of a goat and a Capricorn. And they will overcome whatever obstacles that seem impossible. So they like challenge. So I love a challenge. If I don't have a challenge, I'm pretty much bored. So I like to be challenging myself in different ways.
Yeah.
In my work, in everything. It's just, yeah, the nature of a Capricorn.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also with your clients, you have so many challenges to help them overcome.
Oh, yeah.
And that makes sense. And same with me with my clients.
Mm-hmm.
It's the nature of it. So that all makes sense?
Yes, thank you.
It's really cool. I love seeing it. It's like, yes. So your rising sign is the part that's going to connect with people. Yeah, which is the tricky part.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So you go out there, and so there's a real benefit here. And this is for everyone, start thinking about your rising sign and your midheaven. So your rising sign shows up when it's going to show up with your clients. So like, I become a Leo. I'm in my Leo right now. I was not in my Leo before I jumped on here. I was a Capricorn in my house, so I'm in my Leo because it's my rising sign. Your rising sign is Capricorn, whatever, everyone who's watching, listening, your rising sign is how you show up with your clients. It's how you show up let's say, if you were speaking for you, Genevieve, as you're connecting with these potential partners to get, to think about, okay, who might be a good fit for each other to share our work. You're your Capricorn. And your midheaven is your public self. This is more like what's on your website, or if you were in media, like if someone wrote an article, kind of thing, you'd be tapping more into the Scorpio. Although it is present, I will say, and this is kind of new, I haven't added this to the video anywhere, but our midheaven, I'm starting to see that it's something that I'm starting to see the correlation between our midheaven and what we're known for.
Okay.
So I'm playing with this. I'd love to hear feedback from those in the community and post and share, but what you're known for. So that's just something to keep in mind. And this makes sense to me. What you're known for in my world is healing of deep trauma. That's Scorpio land 1000%.
Neat.
Okay. So that's Scorpio. Yeah, so your Scorpio is your midheaven. That's how you show up publicly. But let's talk about your rising, because that's going to show up mostly in what you were talking about earlier with connecting with people. So the benefit of Capricorn is it is a natural networker.
Really?
It's a natural networker. It's for sure. When I worked as an engineer, there was a lot of Capricorns around, and there was one in particular, and he knew everybody, and everybody liked him. And it wasn't like he was all social, charming person, because that's not what Capricorn is. Right. No, you're not out there charming everybody. That's the Libra, but that's not, that's not who you're going to show up as. So the Capricorn it's a natural networker, because think about it. It is the symbolic mountain of career. How do you rise to the top? Like in a standard career, it's connections. Right. It's not just performance.
No.
That's not just what it is. It's connections, and it's those connections help you succeed. So I love that your first thought is, okay, I'm going to start connecting with people, because that makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. Oh yes, Agnes, please go back to the Brand Essence page to get the midheaven, or just do your chart again, free astrology chart, and you'll see it. I'll come back to you in a moment, Agnes. So, because I'm in a flow here. So natural networker, but it's not super cheery. It can be goofy for sure. Like Capricorn's got a goofy side that you don't really see talked about, but it's 100% there. I know that with certainty whenever I'm around my Capricorn cousin, and we laugh absolutely constantly. Like, so you've got that, so you can tap into that energy. And really it's about creating success. So when you think of and overcoming obstacles. So when you're approaching people, you can come from that frame of reference that, hey, I do this specific modality. I do this specific work that helps with trauma. You have clients who likely have trauma, and you're getting it from that angle, and that's awesome. And then I have the ability to help them in this way, and that's going to help them create more results, better results, and more success. Like your client is going to be doing so much better. So you're coming from that perspective,
Right.
and collaboration as well. Yeah. But really it's about creating greater success either in their business or with their clients, which is really cool. And then Scorpio, if you're putting stuff out there that's more public, well, that's like the intensity. That's the speaking to the transformation, speaking to what's possible, even speaking to what it's like to live with unhealed trauma versus healed trauma. Like that's like before I met you compared to now, like I can't imagine going back. Like I cannot imagine going back. And or even those controversial things that you share, like not controversial, but just eye-opening. Like trauma can be as minor as like X experience, like a small fender bender, or it doesn't just have to be severe abuse or something. Like there's a range. Like that's a message that Scorpio would want to get out there. Cool. So does that make sense for as you're approaching people?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yeah, I love seeing this all together. It's really awesome. And you do have the Mercury in Libra. That is the charismatic aspect. So you do have like the way you think. It is about partnership. So in love, it's about partnership. Like Libra, as a love sign, it wants their soulmate. Like it's a partnership energy. Yeah. In your Mercury, and thinking of it in terms of business, you want long-term partners. You don't just want to mess around with like here and there. And yeah, that just makes sense. And there's already, Canmore's not a huge town. However, there's already people who are already serving people. So why reinvent a wheel? You can partner, which is what you thought of, which is great. I love it. And it matches you. It really matches you. With the depth, with the partnership, with the natural networker kind of energy, which you won't. So here's the trick about our rising sign. It doesn't really activate until we're either around people. Like right now, I'm with you guys. So then Leo wakes up, or I leave my house, Leo wakes up. But when I'm at home, Leo is nowhere. Like it's not really there. It's a little bit like sometimes I do ridiculous Leo things, but in general, it's not to be found. So this is the tricky part for everyone, especially if you have a very different rising sign compared to sun sign. Like yours are both Earth, Genevieve, but like for me, I'm Capricorn, which is Earth, versus Leo. Those are two different worlds. Yeah. So, but even still, the Virgo's not necessarily a networker. Like it's not, that's not really what it's about. It's about work. It's about healing. So we want to be able to activate this. So this might look like working from a coffee shop a little bit, or calling up a client, or getting into that, doing a little Facebook Live training, or doing a video training or something, doing something that gets you into that state. So you might want to do that, if you're going to go meet with someone, maybe meet, or if you're going to call someone, even maybe go to the coffee shop for a bit first, kind of thing. These little things can help. Yeah. Because it's not naturally going to be there at home. Right. No. I'm clear on that with my definite difference in my, I used to do this 3-day event. I did this 3-day event called Freedom to Shine for years. And I remember being in the hotel room the night before, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, people are flying from all over the world, and I'm going to speak? Like, do I even speak? Like, it's so, because I'm in my Capricorn, I'm just like doing my thing. And then I show up in the morning and I'm like, hello. And I'm like full of life. And I'm like, okay, this is what I do every day, isn't it? And it's not, it's just So we want to activate the energy, which isn't naturally going to happen. And I think it's different for us because a lot of us work from home.
Yes.
So we have a different challenge than someone who goes to the 9 to 5. There's others in the community, like I think of Azumi, who's got a job, who's more in her rising sign because she has a job. And those who still have a job, Maria, it's like you're in your rising sign maybe too much. You want to access the other aspects. Okay, cool. So let's look at the gifts. So what I like to do when I look at the gifts is there's the first 3 are kind of together. So maybe I'll post because I think like maybe Dawn Dawn came on a little later. He might not see the natural design, so I'm just gonna post it in again just in case you can't see it. Okay. So with the gifts, we've got the first 3. I look at them together because they're qualities, they're your essence, they're a part of your presence. So I kind of like to look at those together. It's helpful to look at things in groupings, as I think you're probably you're starting to see.
Yeah.
Because you're not just so you think of soup. If you eat soup, you're not like there's a carrot, there's a celery. Right. You're like I'm eating soup, right? And that's how it is with our gifts and our grand essence is it's soup, and we can dissect and be like there's a carrot, there's an onion, and that's helpful to understand. Okay, these are the different flavors in this soup, but it's really soup, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've never had this metaphor come up. This is the benefit of having not a very good sleep is the creativity is higher. Creativity and the potential for like a breakdown that creates a breakthrough. This is what I've observed over the years. I feel like, I don't know if you've ever been to a workshop where they make you work for so long in a day and then you're like, well, I start crying and it's like, oh, I probably would have never had that breakthrough had I not been so tired. Anyway, so the first 3, I'm like stuck in this soup metaphor now. I'm like, the first 3 are like the broth, you know, because they're like together. And then the next 2, that's more like if you ate meat, or just for the metaphor, is the next 2 are the meat. This is like really important. And the final 2 are more like the vegetables. Spontaneous, random metaphor, but it works. So we're talking about soup here, but we're talking about different things. And even in a broth, you can have different things going on, right?
Yeah.
And this is, okay. I just love this. It's funny and fun how this works. But like there's people who have like, their base is like bone broth. Literally there's one ingredient. That would be if they had all their qualities were the same. Like, you know, which you have going on in the meat section. So for the vegans here. But the metaphor works.
Yeah.
Because you've got double 5 in the second part. So the first 3 are what the qualities that you bring. The second 2. I just got to pause for a second. I feel like partly it's the sleep disruption that I had, but also partly it's the group energy. I just love the group energy. I feel like it calls through new things, which I could sense was going to happen. So I just love that happens. The group brings through the new stuff. For those who have 3, that's the power of 3, is when you have a group in front of you, and you have 3, Genevieve, and many of you do, when you have 3 and there's a group in front of you, it's going to call it out, right? It's going to call it out of you, which is really cool. Okay, so the first 3 are the qualities. The second 2 are what you're here to do. It's what you do. And then the final 2 are learnings that you're here to basically transcend on your own. Then they become gifts. So they're gifts, but they're also challenges, which I'm going to be talking more as we go forward about challenges because they add a whole other distinct layer to everything. So what I noticed first off is like, your career, like what you're here to do is all 5.
Yeah.
You are all about transformation.
Yeah.
Like, and it's true. Like, you are.
Yeah.
You're passionate about it. It lights you up. You love it.
Yeah.
And
I eat it for breakfast.
Exactly. I eat transformation for breakfast. Totally. It's so you, which is such a huge gift. And it's intense. It's more intense, right?
It is.
So
it's hard for people to live with.
That's awesome. Well, then you also have a 7, which adds that extra difficulty.
Yes. Yes.
And the Virgo. When you have 7 and Virgo combined, what you have is potential for extreme analysis. Yes. I've got a lot of those things myself. So yeah, I understand what I put people through. But it's a gift as well for your clients. Okay. So just like it becomes more intense when you have doubles or triples. It becomes more intense. Like if you think of a soup, it's more like, oh, this is the soup I'm eating. If there's fewer ingredients, it's just like, oh, this is what I'm getting. It's not like, oh, what is that? And what is that? And what is that? It's not like that. It's like, oh, okay, I've got it. So you've got that double intensity in your career and what you're here to do with your clients.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which makes 100% sense. And so we've got transformation. But again, if we enter the world of 5, it's a whole huge world in there. We've got creativity, we've got aliveness and life force. So as I think about your work, when people, as I know from my own experience with you, when people resolve trauma and dissociation and stuff, they're more in their body, they're more alive. They're literally more alive.
Yes.
When you're in your head and you're dissociated, you're not alive.
Yeah.
Like you're not connected to your body. And here you are, this earthy person who's all about transformation that helps bring them into their body, but also have aliveness. That makes a lot of sense. So it's not just transformation. The transformation does something. It creates aliveness. It creates possibilities that weren't there before.
I like that.
I just thinking of it in terms of your work with trauma healing, it's just so powerful that yes, you're about the transformation, but what is the transformation? Oh, there's so many, there's different transformational numbers. Like you have a 9, very transformational. Let's end the old.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the 9 says.
Yeah.
There's a, what's the other transformational numbers? 9, 5, 7 can be, 1 can be, because it's like new beginning. But they're all got a different flavor of transformation. 5 is the one that you have, and that's transformation that frees people. It creates freedom. It creates new possibilities for themselves and their life. And for you, at this moment in time with your business challenge, we want to tap into the 5 because it has new possibilities.
Right.
Right? So
right.
You've got the inertia, which is 5 is not about inertia.
Apparently not.
For those who have been in a 5-year, and I'm looking at Dawn, I know you're in a 5-year, 5 is not about inertia. When I think of inertia, it's like a train is on a track and it keeps going.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot to either stop it or to get it going because it's got a lot of mass moving. Where 5 is not like that. 5 is creative. 5 is out of the box. 5 is alive. It's inspired in the moment. It's not planned as much. You can't plan your sessions.
No.
You absolutely cannot plan your sessions. That's not going to help anything. I mean, you can put a tentative plan, but you have to throw it out the window.
Yes.
The moment something changes.
Frequently.
Yes, totally. And 5 is about change. 5 is about variety, and that's probably why you love the healing work, is there's so much variety.
I love emergence. I love allowing emergence.
Cool.
In every part of my life. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Pretty well every part.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so this 5 is you're freeing up life force. You're creating new possibilities for these people in their lives. They're including the possibility of being safe in your body. So now we look back to the qualities 7 and 4. I've never seen that together, those words together. 7 is about trust, which betrayal and all these other sorts of things on the shadow side of it. But the positive side, it's trust. Can you trust yourself to take care of yourself? Can you trust your environment? Can you trust life to support you? Like, can you feel safe? So you're in the safe in the body. Like, look at that combo. The 7 and the 4, safe in the body. That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
And then, so 9 is you're ending the stuff, you're resolving the stuff, you're integrating. So that's another word for 9. It's not just completion, it's integration. So you're integrating, you're completing the healing process. That's a lot of what the trauma work is that you do. It's like you're completing the thing that never got completed.
Yes.
So that you can be safe in the body.
Yes.
So like, I just love this. I just love seeing these numbers for you, seeing how you embody them. And really, when you see this like this, you can really just start to own it. That's the whole point, right? yeah, this is what I'm here to do. This is who I'm here to be. So with this presence and qualities, yes, you're helping your clients with it for sure. And one of the biggest ways you are helping your clients with it is by being it.
Yes.
By
Yeah.
doing your own work to complete your own healing and to be safe in your own body, because then you're vibrationally, or whatever you want to call it, offering that possibility to those who are in front of you, which you do. You that's you. So cool. And then the 3 and the 2. So now we add a little bit of, change it up a bit. So your 3.
This is the vegetables.
Yes, this is vegetables. I love it. Now to the vegetables. The 3 and the 2. So 3 is expression. 3 is playfulness. 3 is fun. 3 is spontaneity. 3 is being inspired in the moment. So 3 and 5 are best friends. Like, there's no best friends other than 3 and 5. They love each other. They're a really fun world there. So when in a person, when you have 3 and 5 together, because the 5 is like, going with the flow of life and seeing what happens and surprise kind of thing, out of the box, and change and things fluctuating. And then 3 comes in and it has this spontaneity. It also has inspiration.
Right.
So it's not just about transformation, it's about being inspired.
Yeah.
It's about saying the right words at the right time. It's about being open to what the right words are that come into your head at the right time. So once again, with the 3, while many speakers are 3 or have strong 3, and a lot of them plan their talks, the 3, you want to have space with the 3 to have spontaneous expression, which you do with your clients. There's no like, first we're going to talk about this, and then we're going to talk about that. It is free flowing. And so, and that's the number that I mentioned, where when there's people in front of you, then the inspiration comes forward. In one-on-one work, it comes through for the person. It's like a thought or whatever, a message, or just like an insight, or just the words that come to your mind. When you move into an audience, have you ever done speaking? You've done a little bit, I think, right?
I avoid it as much as possible.
Yeah. Well, and see, look at where your 3 is. It's in the challenge section.
I'd rather have a root canal.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. We'll see if you stay there forever, because you have some potential there for sure.
That's what people keep telling me, but
yeah, you have to, but it's in the challenge, so you gotta work on that to be able to feel safe to do that. Yeah, vegetable. It's not the meat. And then the 2 is when you combine 7 and 2 is like a personal relationship, and 7 is deep. So you have these deep connections with your clients, deep connections with your partners who are promoting you. That makes a lot of sense. And it's the one-on-one work. People who have 7 and 2 together typically like doing some one-on-one, at least a certain amount of that. Cool. Make sense?
Yes.
Any questions?
No, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, really helpful. I love it. I love it. It's so cool to see it all in one person. Like, and I know you, and it's just so clear that this is your magic, you know? I love it. Cool. So what I'd love to do next is as you were listening, I'd love to take a couple shares for, as you were listening, before I'll ask you, Genevieve, what stands out the most that you kind of want to keep in your mind and hold on to?
Well, possibility as the antidote to and this is what I'm here to do.
Yeah.
Because I know that, right? I know that. It's going into the action part for me.
Yeah, right? Totally. And letting this fuel the action and let the action come from this natural place. Yeah. You don't have to, now I'm in business. Now I got to be this weird
Exactly. Yeah.
No, you're Genevieve. You're intense. you're all about transformation and wholeness and all these different things. And you're a trailblazer, and you can come out to the world with that energy. Yeah. And not apologize for it.
Oh, yeah, that was the other thing. Permission.
Good.
Permission. Yeah.
Awesome.
Giving myself permission to bring it.
Yes, because it's your role in this world. Like,
yeah, it is.
Not everyone turns their essence into a business, but if you're going to, then it's a part of the business. Like, you have to bring it. So it's what you've got to bring. Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
I love it. Cool. So let's take some shares. So anyone who's here, if you'd like to share, maybe wave your hand, or Quinn, maybe you can type in the chat. Okay, Maria. So what we're looking for is just any insights you got either on about yourself or just witnessing Genevieve, anything you want to share as you were listening. So Maria, I've unmuted you.
Yeah, I also don't like public speaking, and I was in Toastmasters for a couple of years, and it helped so much. My biggest accomplishment was speaking. I got invited to be the keynote speaker at a professional conference back in September, and it was like the whole day, just in front of 40 people. And I spent months preparing for it, but I'm glad I did, and I used all the skills that I learned, and I got really good feedback at the end. I really liked the content and the presentation. So
that's
check out Toastmasters.
That's a great suggestion. Thank you. We have one here in our town.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, that's great. I never thought about it, but yeah, it makes so much sense. I think 3 is a challenge for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
3 is a number where in society we like the structure and we like things to be right and check the box and stuff like that. And 3 is pretty spontaneous. It's vulnerable because you're in front of people and all of that. So it makes sense that because I'm thinking back, I avoided speaking for the first 7 years of my business. I was terrified of it. I didn't admit that I was terrified, but I was. So I went through my journey to get me through these different things. But Toastmasters, great suggestion. Whatever it takes to get through that discomfort to the other side where you feel safe, basically.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Maria.
Yeah. Thank you. That's a great suggestion.
Yeah, cool. And you're also being out there connecting with people.
Yeah.
Being your Capricorn self.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Quinn, I see you unmuted. Did you want to share insights?
Actually, I just wanted to ask, so with all of that Capricorn, the sun sign and all that stuff, I actually did mine, but the thing is, I think I don't quite understand it that much. But today, to hear you explain it makes sense a lot more. Just that I need to go back into my own signs. But definitely, I appreciate these calls because to hear other people's signs and to hear you explain it makes me also, first of all, understand other people, their signs, and also to understand my signs better too. So that'll be great. So this is amazing. This is great.
Great. Yeah. Awesome, Quinn. That's exactly it. That's the one thing I noticed, because and you and I talked about this when we first met, is that when I do this privately, it's like a certain experience, right? Because you're like, yeah, that makes sense. And that's me. But it's when you contrast who you are to someone else and you see, oh, I'm not that, or I'm a little bit of that, but I'm definitely not that part.
Right.
It helps us to really start to own it even more fully.
Right. And then it's funny because sometimes when Genevieve was sharing that her 3, and I'm thinking, I think I should have a 3. How come I don't have that?
Yeah.
Sure. It's like, okay, so what's up with that? Did I miss something?
Well, you're gonna see. So for those of you who are newer, you go through your natural design, and then you start on the secret treasure, which is really powerful and important information about your challenges. So that, and then, so for example, Genevieve, or no, that's not, never mind. That's not yours. I thought it was yours. And then you go into your bonus gifts, and those are released every month. Mostly because if you get it all at once, it's just like,
right.
It doesn't really sink in or anything. So you're going to have, there's one bonus gift that you have that's your emotional nature. That's 3, which makes a ton of sense because you're like light and happy. And
okay. I haven't seen that yet. Okay, that's right. Okay, so that's coming.
That's gonna
see, because I see. Because I know that I haven't seen the second part of the training where integrating my gifts. So I haven't seen the videos for that yet. I only finished the videos for part 1 for the.
Yes. Yeah, totally. Which we've got to. Yeah. That should be coming soon.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. So this is the thing. As I mentioned, I typically say this is I could analyze a single person for a week with what makes them unique, but what good is that going to do if it doesn't sink in?
Yeah.
Want this to sink in, and the power in this work is not knowing it. It's using it. It's realizing, hey, my 5, I'm so good at creativity, but transformation, not so much, or whatever it is, the different aspects of yourself that you haven't fully owned and haven't fully embraced. And the magic happens when you really step in fully to your natural design, more and more and more. I can't imagine going back, like even a few years where I wasn't having this be a primary focus. It just opens up the whole world of business so much more fully. So yeah, awesome. I'm so glad. This is so fun doing it this way. How do you know who resonates with you if you do not know their brand essence or gifts? So Agnes, I'll unmute you for a sec. So with this, and we're gonna wrap pretty soon, but we're a little over here, but yeah, I don't tend to do things fast. When I'm connecting with people, I get on a train and the train keeps going. Yeah, so who resonates with you? So in business, this is a great question, Agnes. I can feel this happen. So what's that?
I have my whole chart here.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So but I'm just thinking for a second here. How do you know who resonates with you? Because this is a great question. So when in business, we, as much as possible, want to be fully expressing our brand essence. Because then we're putting out the most potent, pure vibration of who we are. And that's what we're putting out there. So then we're going to be able to feel and sense who resonates and who doesn't. So Genevieve, you're going to be putting your feelers out. And if someone doesn't value deep transformation, if someone doesn't value their clients getting all the tools they need, that's not your person. And very likely that's going to show up as a feeling.
Yeah.
Or just something they say that you're like, no.
Yeah.
No. So with this, that's where it becomes important. And also for our ideal clients, there's a section on ideal clients, which you guys should have all got. If you don't have that, message Karen. We're closing down the office for a couple of weeks here, or she's closed for a week. I'm out for 2 weeks. So message her sooner. But for your ideal clients, you want to start getting clear on the subtleties. So for you, Genevieve, because you've got the Scorpio and the Capricorn and the Virgo and the Aries, you're going to attract people who want to create something new for themselves. That's the moon. You want people who are willing to do the deep work. You want people who are willing to overcome all the freaking challenges that come up, because that's a part of the journey. It's not just, you're not a quick fix magic pill. I mean, none of us are, but you for sure are not. Based on your brand essence. So really owning that actually translates to qualities of your ideal clients. So we can do it like that. We don't have to know their signs to know that. It comes out in our messaging. So for me, I don't just work with healers and coaches who don't care about creating success, who don't care about reaching the people that they can with their business. There's a lot of people just hearing my message, they're going to go running, because I'm just freely expressing my Capricorn, Virgo, Leo, Taurus energy, which is high achieving, very high achieving, success oriented. And the other people are going to run away. You're not even going to hear from them. And even if you're like, hey, you want to buy my program, they're going to be like, no, because they're going to feel your energy. So awesome question, Agnes. I love it. Cool. All right. So let's, Agnes, do you have anything you want to share about anything that stood out that you got as an insight being here?
No, but I did print out my chart, and I don't know where midheaven is.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, post it in Facebook if you post your chart. I'll here.
Oh, I'll see if I can do that. I'm not sure. It's like 40.
I'll post the link. I'll post the link to check it, and let me know if you don't see it. Okay, so I'll post it. I'll tag you on Facebook. Okay, awesome, everyone. Thank you, Genevieve. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for holding the space.
Yeah.
Feel Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. You guys are awesome, and I love the space that is held. Like, this is like one of my favorite. I have many favorite things, but this community is just so awesome. I love the energy that everyone brings and this journey that we're on together. So big hugs and awesome, Genevieve. I feel honored to know this about you and grateful. Really cool. I felt it all without knowing it. So yeah, awesome.
You're kind of like that.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Okay, awesome. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for
Thank
joining.
you. Bye bye.
You're welcome. Bye.